Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Trinidad and Tobago troops on their way to St. Vincent to assist with national security and other restoration of services related to the eruption of La Soufriere volcano. This story takes the lead in a 1018 9th edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday 13th April 2021. Details after this break.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Help for St. Vincent from Trinidad and Tobago and a move to repatriate nationals caught there after the eruption of La Soufriere volcano. The plan announced by the Ministry of National Security on Sunday afternoon includes using a Tobago ferry to ship much-needed relief supplies and deploying 50 Defence Force officers to render assistance over there. TV6's Sherlyn Ramsubhag has the details.
The National Security Ministry said the contingent, which will comprise personnel with various skills, such as engineers, will be stationed in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for 2 weeks in the first instance. It also stated the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management has been coordinating efforts to collect supplies which will be sent to the islands on Tuesday and Wednesday. The ministry explained in the first instance, the supplies will comprise water, food essentials, toiletries, hygiene materials, simple medical supplies, and other items requested, for example, water tanks and buckets. The ministry will be using the Galleon's Passage to carry the troops on supplies on Tuesday. It also has plans to repatriate Trinidad and Tobago nationals from the islands on Tuesday using the Galleon's Passage and is currently making such arrangements along with the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs. All nationals returning will be quarantined and treated in accordance with the Ministry of Health's COVID-19 protocols. Persons who wish to donate items are advised to contact the ODPM or drop off such items at the various collection points identified by the ODPM. The National Security Ministry says the government of Trinidad and Tobago continues to be in contact with the authorities in St. Vincent and will continue to provide support and assistance requested and required by our CARICOM neighbors.
In Barbados, citizens are told by the Prime Minister to stay at home unless they are essential workers. Barbados is being blanketed with ash from the La Soufriere volcano in St. Vincent. More in this TTT news item.
Bottom line is, if you don't need to go outside, do not go outside. If you're not going outside to clean around your house today, stay off the road. We've already had to suspend some of the transport board's movements because, as you know, it is hazardous on the road, and therefore we do not want to compound the situations that we have with any type of other unfortunate incidents. There are some people, as Mr. Thompson just adverted to, who do provide essential services and will have to go on the road.
She says the government is fighting fake news, COVID, and dealing with keeping citizens safe from the medical effects of ash, along with the physical effects to structures on the island. Prime Minister Motley says while she understands that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is getting the brunt of the activity, now is not the time to become complacent, especially when it comes to taking care of the elderly and COVID-19 protocols. She's also asking Barbadians to conserve water to prevent a shortage being created, especially now in the dry season. Word that roofs and small structures have begun to collapse under the weight of over 24 hours of ash accumulation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines following the eruption of the La Soufriere volcano. We have more in this CD Radio report from St. Vincent by CD Radio user Juliet 88 Delta Mike.
We received reports of a number of houses in the Sandy Bay area whose roof have caved in due to the amount of ash on the roof. Approximately 8 or so houses so far. Our major concern at the moment is water. We have no water, and the water that is available in the streams and so forth are all covered with ash. So it's not fit for drinking. And we are currently going through a dry spell as it regards to the water storage for the general population. So that in itself is limited, and water is really a critical problem right now as we speak. But once again, just to update you, the volcano continues to rumble. I can hear the song of it from my location. It's difficult to breathe at the moment.
The Guyana police is dispelling reports of kidnappings taking place in the country. More in this news source Guyana report with Chief Anchor Gordon Mosley.
In a statement, the police force indicated that while it has received reports of missing persons, there are no reports of any kidnapping. The police force said a report about the attempted kidnapping of 2 young women has been proven to be false, and there have been no reports of any kidnappings received by the police within recent times. According to the police, while the call for neighbors and others to look out for each other is appreciated, the peddling of misinformation about alleged kidnappings can result in unwanted tension, anxiety, and stress across the country. The force said it has also taken note of social media postings about the number of missing person reports in the country. The Guyana Police Force said while it understands the concern expressed, it is refuting the allegation that the issue does not appear to be receiving the full attention of the Guyana Police Force. The statement said while the force will be doing more to publicize the incidents when reports are made, the Guyana Police Force is assuring the public that throughout the years it has dealt aggressively with missing person reports in terms of its follow-up action and ensuring investigations inclusive of all stations in the country being quickly informed of the reports along with the pertinent information. A missing persons unit has now been established within the Criminal Investigations Department of the Police Force to focus exclusively on leading investigations into reports of missing persons. Earlier this week, there were several reports of missing persons appearing on social media. In most of the cases, the missing persons have since been reunited with their families. In 2 other separate cases, 2 young men who were missing in 2 different parts of the country were found dead. In both cases, there were no marks of violence on their bodies. Those investigations remain active.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
These guys are now squarely in the pockets of Exxon, says former Minister of Public Infrastructure of Guyana, David Patterson, who has recently been tasked with oversight of the oil and gas sector in the National Assembly. The details from HGP's Wendell Badri.
The UPNO AFC Member of Parliament made those remarks on Thursday evening during an interview with Brantford Burke on the social media show In Perspective, where the two were discussing matters pertaining to Ghana's oil and gas sector.
These guys are now squarely in the pockets of Exxon. So, and we suspected that since the war was happening in 2020, that, the deal has been had.
Patterson accused the incumbent administration of not representing the interests of citizens.
Right now, we have a government that is deep into, we find that they're not defending the interests of the people as we were.
To support his statement, the former minister used the example of flaring, where he proffered that when ExxonMobil began flaring gas in 2020, his administration halted the company's operations by way of withholding a license, which was needed to start up operations in the Payara well, as a means of ensuring that it was compliant with the country's requirements for flaring, as opposed to what is happening now. Patterson continued to lay accusations against the current administration by stating that it has given away several of the more lucrative oil blocks which are owned by the country.
Every single oil block that they have there was given away by the PVP. Every single valuable oil block. Some no-name companies, some companies that were started yesterday and day before yesterday got oil blocks under the PPP.
In a recent virtual press conference, the leader of the opposition, Joseph Harmon, called for an audit of a transaction circumscribing the sale of Ghana's fifth lift of crude, as he posited that information reaching his office suggests that Ghana's fifth sale was below the original value.
The point I am making, I said it was sold below price. This is the information that was coming to our office.
The opposition leader was pressed to produce the figures to verify his claim, as media operatives suggested that the trending sale price was not much different from the actual sale price by the country. The opposition leader explained that trending prices are a way of diverting focus from the real value of products.
Trends are trends. Trends can run from what is the price for 1 month, for a week, as the case might be. And so I think it's a good excuse for anyone to say, look at the trends. What I believe we have to look at is at the point of the sale, what was the price?
The Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, on the sidelines of an event in March, stated that the country raked in some $61 million for the country's fifth lift of crude.
Yesterday we would have received $61 million for our fifth lift, which was done in February. We are actually preparing for a sixth lift in April.
The oil and gas industry continues to be of major concern to many Guyanese, with some sections of the country claiming that the rate of royalty should be renegotiated, given that the current rate favors the operators more than the country. Wendell Badri, HGP Nightly News.
The Belize National Teachers Union prepares to respond to government's salary cut.
We have done several surveys already, but having gotten this last letter from the government, with those two options, because it's just 10% or a tiered approach. Those are the options. We now have to have our members now vote on that position once more. We have to also get from them their position as it relates to what kind of actions we will be taking going forward. So for that reason then, the convention, we shared information, we had some discussions with our members, and we explained to them that despite the fact that the government might be saying that, that they are sharing, if you will, compensation, if that's what they want to call it, we don't see it as that. But you are telling us that we are willing to work with the banks, to help our people so that they don't feel the hit as much. They get some kind of reprieve from the banks. But you're not giving me details. You want to tell me that I will offer teachers data packages, but I don't know what that will be and what that will cost. So you're not giving me the details that my people can go there and say, fine, they're asking us for 10%. These are things that they will do. They will give me a package worth this, it will cost me this. The banks, I can go to the banks, is going to be the percentage that the banks will give me on my mortgage. I am able to, whatever other thing that they are offering, I need to know the details of those. So I can't take a decision on something that I don't have the full picture of. And so we cannot expect our members to say, yes, we will give up our 10 because you are going to be giving us A, B, C, when they don't know those details. And had we gotten those details in that letter, we could have presented those things today. So our members would then be now taking a position based on two things: a 10% across the board or a tiered approach, which should amount to the 60 million and the 20 million.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.